All right. Good afternoon, counselor. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Sean. I'm doing well on this beautiful snowy Thursday.
Beautiful
Yet
snow.
again, we're getting snow.
Maybe by
Go
the time,
figure.
yeah, by the time I post this and watch this, the weekend, it's going to get warmer. We two sounds like no, I'll post it today, but two sounds really warm on Sunday.
You believe that?
Oh,
Honestly? Honestly? Oh, it's been so cold. It's just been,
can't
and
trust
yet,
the
if
season.
this is our winter, we've only got a few more weeks of it. So I'm good.
Great.
Cross country skiing is fabulous right now. I gotta tell you, and
Yeah,
hiking in
yeah.
the woods is just incredible.
All right. So first question. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Seeing all these questions, why don't you ask her why she still wants this job?
So my staff read that to me. I thought that was so funny. I thought that was so funny. Well, you know what? You step into the role of a counselor because you want to make a difference, you want to help people, and you're a problem solver. At least that's me. So I'm a problem solver. And as you can see, there's lots of issues, and sometimes there's problems. But honestly, you get to achieve so much if you work together with your community and you work together with staff. And I just feel very, very blessed that we've been able to work together, and with residents we've done so much in the last 10 years. It's just been amazing. So I appreciate the humor behind that. But I would say, Sean, anybody who's thinking they might like to be a counselor, yeah, you just put yourself on Facebook and lay yourself bare, because that's what it's all about. And you got to be good with that. You got to be respectful, and you got to do your job.
Let's talk about COVID. Is there any place? There's nowhere in town that people can get a COVID test, right? Is there anywhere?
Not right now, no. And that is all determined by public health and the province. So it is not up to council, any municipality, any councillor. It is, where the testing is done. Sorry, and this applies to vaccines as well. But where the testing is done is really determined by each municipality or area's public health.
Okay, so right now there's nowhere in town that you can. The shoppers, even the shoppers, I don't think is doing it, right?
No, not at this point. Now, I mean that did exist for the flu shots, which are not COVID related, but for the flu shots. And but as far as the testing, I think the model of regional testing, if they have one in Waterdown, do you then look at Dundas, Ancaster, Stony Creek, Binbrook, Glanbrook, Mount Hope? That's a more regional approach. So I'm at this point, again, it's up to public health, and they must make their decisions based on the direction that they get from the province.
I think probably too early to know if we'll have a vaccine clinic here too, right?
Sorry, I should laugh, but you know what? The announcements coming out of Ottawa, they're getting ridiculous. I have to say that. I just think this whole thing has been mishandled so badly by the federal government. Um, you've got. I think today they announced something like 21 million will be vaccinated by the end of June. A couple of days ago, it was everybody will be vaccinated by the end of September. It's kind of like playing whack-a-mole. All these, all these different comments keep coming up, and yes, we've got this, and there's vaccines coming here, and then it all disappears. So I don't know if it's a bit of a diversion tactic. I'm not really sure, but I will tell you that at this point, uh, the vaccines they're just kind of dribbling out. I was talking to some folks in healthcare the other day, and they've received their first vaccine, but it's now been 35 days, and there's just this big, where are the vaccines? When are they coming? When are we getting them? And when we get them, we got to send them out. So there is a plan in place, but in order to execute the plan, you got to have the product, and they don't have the product to the extent that they need it right now. I hope that answers your question.
We'll start going into the questions and maybe I'll start naming people that ask the questions. Suzanne writes, so obviously the developers, they failed to bring the park at Nisbet, the road at Clapison still not complete. Are there any financial implications or penalties for developers for not fulfilling what they said they were going to do?
In some cases, yes, there are penalties in these particular cases, and they're different developers. So I just, the way you asked the question, I didn't want people to think that it is one developer that is not fulfilling both of those promises. The road at Clapison, in order to open the road safely, there needs to be certain criteria in place. And so the road is done in terms of being paved. There still needs to be lines painted on it. There is no street lighting at this point. There needs to be street lighting once you open that road up, because there will be a lot of traffic on it. Even pedestrians at night. So there is not adequate street lighting right now. They're also at the intersection of Parkside Drive and Clapison Drive, which is the name of that road. There needs to be a full functioning stop light. And that is a little bit of a bigger endeavor to get that installed. And so those are the requirements that the developer has to meet on that particular. They told me it was going to be open by this coming summer. They said it last summer, and I think they said it the summer before. So there's been a number of things going on with that particular development. And another part of it was just getting the plan of subdivision registered, not only with the city, but getting it registered with the Ontario Land Registry. And I've been told that's been done. But there are still some issues around, because internally there's going to be, quite a few roads in there and quite a few buildings. And so it's not just one building going in here or there or that one road. There is quite a development going in there. And, that needs to be site plan approved. So it's taking way too long and it's driving me crazy, but such is the way it is with construction.
Now, Brant asks a few questions regarding the closure of Waterdown Road for 6 to 8 weeks. First one, was it always part of the original plans to close Waterdown Road for this work? Are we talking about the belt lines, or are we talking about widening Waterdown Road?
So my understanding, because even before I was elected, I was involved in all the community meetings to do with that particular project. And it was quite contentious because the expansion of Waterdown Road is part of the Waterdown bypass that is no longer a bypass. So yes, Waterdown Road is to be expanded on a 4-lane base, I believe, but it will be expanded to 3 lanes. And there will be sidewalks, bike lanes, and I believe boulevards. It was not part of the original plan that I can remember. And I did have a conversation with the councillor for the area, Councillor Calvin Galbraith, and we do work together on a number of different things. This is a Burlington project, by the way. It is not a City of Hamilton project. So the boundary for Waterdown in the City of Hamilton is Mountain Brow, and it's Mountain Brow and then everything to the north of Mountain Brow. To the south of Mountain Brow is Burlington. So no, it was not in the original plans, but it is from our conversation last week, Halton region, because they are a region as opposed to a city, amalgamated city such as Hamilton. So their Halton region had made the decision they needed to expand the main water main, that is going to be south of Flett Road. So all that empty land where that school is on Flett Road, as you get down towards the QEW, I think there's about 550 homes going in there. And they're going to be starting within the next couple of years. So Waterdown Road needs to be done. The water main needs to be expanded. You've also got the development happening at the GO station in Burlington, Aldershot.
Right.
So there's quite a bit of infrastructure that needs to be done there. It's not going to be pleasant. It is not going to be pleasant because we will have just about everything under construction in the, there's a fair amount under construction right now, but everything is going to be under construction between 2022 and 2024.
Okay. And then any plans to reopen King Road right now as an alternate access in light of Waterdown Road closure? Do you know if the King Road that's closed right now?
There is no connection to King Road. There is no connection. So where Mountain Brow used to go straight through.
Right.
It no longer does, because there is a big storm management pond that has been built right where Mountain Brow was, on the other side of Flanders. And so Burke Street, which comes from Highway 5 through that new subdivision, curves and joins into Mountain Brow just east of Flanders. But there is no road connecting to King Road anymore at this point. Once all the houses are built in the Mountain View subdivision, then you will be able to have access off of Burke Street at Mountain Brow, and then going through the subdivision and back down to King Road. But that's not going to be done for probably another 4 or 5 years.
All right. And Doug asks, snow clearing has always been an issue on our streets. Why are cars allowed to park on both sides, not allowing the plows to complete access?
That is a very good point. And, it has been raised several times by council. So the biggest difference, and someone did say, well, Burlington, for instance, all cars have to be off the road. And one of the big challenges we have when you're doing a comparison with Burlington, Burlington only became a city in 1974. 1974, Burlington became a city. Hamilton became a city in 1846. So you're dealing with a very old city that has narrow streets and lots of infrastructure. And, on the Burlington side, it's new infrastructure, fairly new, and the roads are wider even from the get-go. And certainly as Burlington has expanded, many of the roads and even their subdivisions, their downtown is probably the only really narrow part. So it's very difficult. You're really not comparing apples to apples. But I do agree that it would be ideal to get all the cars off the road, but where the heck are you going to put them? Because if you look at all the subdivisions, even the area that you live in, Sean, where are you going to put your cars? Because we have people that, your garage is supposed to be a parking spot and it's full of storage. So, where are you going to put your cars? That is probably the biggest challenge right across the city. It's not just in Waterdown. It is right across the entire city. And the backlash when we start talking about making that a ruling to get all the cars off the street, people just go absolutely berserk because they don't know where they're going to park their cars.
Right.
So I don't know the answer to that. On paper and theoretically, it makes perfect sense. And I will tell you, if you've ever ridden with one of our snowplow operators or any snowplow operator, I am absolutely amazed at how they are able to drive those big machines and clear snow. And it's just amazing to me. It really is quite something to be inside that cab. I swear they've got nerves of steel, honestly.
Be a tough, yeah. I remember doing a couple stories with them before, back in the day.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
Speaking of snow, just walk from Cedar Street, this is from Andrea, to Fortino's. No sidewalks of any businesses are cleared. As homeowners, we obviously have to clear the sidewalks in front of our place. Who is responsible for clearing sidewalks in front of businesses, as well as sidewalks which there are nobody in front of?
Yeah, so it is up to the businesses, for them to clear their sidewalks. And if a sidewalk isn't cleared, then call by law, call my office, and we will get someone out there. But I'm disappointed actually in some of the business, not all of them, but some of them. I'm very disappointed that they're not clearing their sidewalks. Now, having said that, we were getting calls in my office while the snow was still falling. So we were in the middle of the snowstorm, and people were calling and saying, that the sidewalks should be clear. They should be right down to bare bones. Well, it's still snowing. So I also ask people to please just be patient. I know our snow blower and got an incredible workout, and I think it will again today as I look out the window at the snow coming down. My shoulders are sore. My husband's shoulders are sore, and we've been helping our neighbors as well. So it's not easy, but it is the responsibility of the retailers, commercial, and for the city, if in areas where there is a city park, a city-owned park, within at least a couple of days, they try and get out and clear the sidewalks as best they can as well.
And Tina asks, the parking at First in Dundas is out of control. They are parking in
Ah,
turning lanes all the way down the street under no parking signs. That intersection is the worst. And then she goes on, it's really hard to turn there. And there's even a picture.
yeah, no, and you know what? Those pictures have been sent into bylaw and to the developer. What are you thinking? That is such an unsafe thing to do to my community and to residents, for goodness sakes, because they first of all, they're parking in the right turn lane to this is heading westbound now, turning on to First Street, and there must be 15 to 20 vehicles there. It's a construction site. You are supposed to have any vehicles to do with construction. You're supposed to make space for them to park on the construction site, not on the road. So I am extremely disappointed. We have sent bylaw out there, and in fact, I sent in another email at 10 o'clock this morning when I drove by and I saw the cars, and I just said to bylaw, like, get out there and ticket them.
Yeah.
Because it's disrespectful and it's dangerous. It is really dangerous.
And then let's see, a couple questions about the bypass that Lindsay writes.
Yes.
Are lights plans for Parkside and Robson or Boulding?
Yes.
Okay.
And I believe there's also a traffic circle planned in there somewhere as well.
Okay. And we'll
where Avonside, sorry, Sean, where Avonside ties into Parkside. Right now, if you look at it, it's got it's kind of an odd angle, and then there's a bit of a piece that goes onto Parkside. That is kind of half of a traffic circle.
Yeah.
So that when they upgrade, the construction starts on Parkside, which will be later this year. That will be a full traffic circle there, and then there will be a light, I believe, at Boulding. At Robson Road and Parkside.
And then Lindsay also asked, will the pedestrian bridge across Grindstone Creek on Parkside be widened? Where's the pedestrian?
Oh, sorry. She means by the tracks?
Pedestrian bridge across Grindstone Creek on Parkside be widened.
Yeah, so I think what she's referring to there is the creek by Conans, where the tracks are.
Right.
So CNCP will be redesigning the tracks because Parkside will curve and go up and around behind Alexander Place. So where Conans has their grow up right now, when you get at the top of the hill there, that access it won't be cul-de-sac, but it is going to be partially cul-de-sac because Parkside will no longer go straight through. It's going to curve north where the tracks are, just past the tracks, and go up and around behind Alexander Place and over to Center Road.
Susan writes, can we get sidewalks on Flamborough Street? Flamborough, that's where the car wash is. Are there no sidewalks?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so again, part of the difficulty with the streets that are in the core, and Flamborough is one of them, is that the street is so narrow, and where do you put the sidewalk? So I can't say yes or no to that. I thought they had sidewalks on one side. I could be wrong about that, but you know what? I'll take a drive down and check it out.
All right, some more snow questions, some more street parking questions, some more.
You know what? There was Veronica in my office. She had read through some of the posts that were in the comments that were on there. And thank you, by the way, for putting that up a couple of days ahead of time to give folks the opportunity to put their questions out there. But there was one, and I'm not going to say the name, but there was one post, and I don't know if I've got it here, if I can read it. No. And she said that she had something about an amazing comment. I have emailed Judi Partridge and never get a response. I'm really concerned when I see posts like that. I've had IT staff and my staff actually going through every single email that is sent into any counselor's office is kept. So there is a record of it somewhere, and every phone call that's made. So they all become public documents, by the way. And so, you know, we don't delete. They are part of the public domain. So we've done a search. I've had some IT people looking through. There is no record of an email coming in from a person with that name. So, you know, I mean, we've done this before where people have posted, oh, I've emailed her office and nobody bothered to get back to me. And we've actually found that there's never been an email from that person. And I get it. People like to post things like that and, you know, make me look bad. But in this case, what I'm concerned about is that if the email was sent and they misspelt my name, or you know, I would really like that person to get in touch with my office, because we would like to work with you and just find out if you know, if indeed there is an email there, or if we've missed it. My staff, Veronica and Christine, I mean, they pride themselves on their customer service, and anybody who's dealt with my office, I just, you know, I feel I have two of the best staff going, because they are just amazing people. They will go to the ends of the earth to try and solve your problem and help you. So please, if that's the case, if you made that post, please do call my office, and we'd love to work with you and help you and just get to the bottom of it. So I just wanted to take an opportunity to say that, Sean. Thank you.
My pleasure. Anything else you want to mention, or anything else you want to talk about?
So I did just wanted to see. Oh, I want to give a bit of an update on the rural broadband
Okay, right.
project, the infrastructure project. Bell Canada, we've talked about this before, is investing $400 million into the city of Hamilton. This is not a city of Hamilton project. This is a Bell project. So there's no tax dollars or city of Hamilton money going into this project. They have completed most of Ancaster, and they are starting the infrastructure work on Waterdown, and then working their way north to Carlisle through the rural area. And then after that, they will be doing more construction throughout the rural areas of Glanbrook, the Upper Stony Creek area, Binbrook, Mount Hope, etc., so that, you know, they get the entire rural area done. And that was the purpose of this project, was to provide better connectivity, internet connectivity, and broadband infrastructure throughout mostly the rural area, but also there are pockets within Dundas and Stony Creek and different areas where the broadband isn't terrific. And so when their infrastructure, and they're saying it's going to be about 4 years, they started in 2020, so around 2024 they expect to be finished. They will be offering packages out to customers and to anyone interested to be able to sign up on their Bell infrastructure. This is not me promoting Bell. And I've had a couple of emails about that, you know, where they've said, well, why aren't you promoting all the other internet providers and service companies? And that's not what this is about. This is about the infrastructure. It's about a construction project. And then all those other companies will be able to work with Bell and partner with Bell, just as many of them do now, to use those lines. But they add, they offer their own type of packages to customers. So I wanted to give a bit of an update on that. I'm just trying to, oh, there was something about community ice rinks.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone was asking about community ice rinks. So the city does offer to provide equipment to community groups or volunteers who are interested in putting in ice rinks in local parks. There has to be water infrastructure in the local park to begin with. Some of them do and some of them don't. So if that's something that people come together, if you can get 10 to 15 people together or work with one of the service clubs to take on this project for next year, and start the ball rolling now in the conversations to be able to build those ice rinks, okay? Because I know there was a comment about that.
Excellent.
Anything else?
I think that was it. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of it.
I want to also say too that the kids getting back to school this week and had a snow day, I think immediately on on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
I'm not sure how Paisley's doing, if she's been able to dig her way out and get back to
Yeah,
school.
back
Yeah.
at school. Yeah, yep. Back at school. It was the snow day on Tuesday. Family day was Monday. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, back at school now. So
Family Day was Monday.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And of course, this weekend we have the coldest night of the year, which is happening on Saturday, February the 20th. There is a group with the Carlisle Optimists who will be walking at 1 o'clock on Saturday and over at Courtcliff Park. And I think they've already raised $2,500, just that group. But I know there's lots of groups out there. The Rotary Club in Waterdown, the Flamborough Rotary Club, the Lions Club. So there's lots of people that are out walking for the coldest night of the year, and not even just walking. I think I read in the paper this morning that one of the TICAP players, I think, is going to be sleeping in his car just to, because there's people that do that every single night, not just in our city, but, all kinds of places. So I encourage everyone to, and this one is through Eagle's Nest. The Waterdown Eagle's Nest organization is helping to organize this particular one. So yeah, I mean, it's tough because normally this time of year we would be looking forward to the big breakfast in Carlisle, that the Optimists put on, and we get 500 or 600 people that come in. The Rotary would be preparing for their Rib Fest. There would be so many events that are being put together and people volunteering and just a busyness about the community. And instead, we've had a year of, and what a year it's been. And people are tired. People are missing each other. I very much miss my two boys. I've said before, and Carolyn, I've said before, I have one in Vancouver, one in Quebec City, and one in Ottawa, and we can't even travel to see them. So it's tough for everybody. And I want to say thank you for your patience. Thank you for hanging in there, and from a mental health perspective, it's not easy. It's not easy on anybody right now.
Some of the businesses are open. Hopefully they stay open and we get warmer weather soon, like this weekend.
I hope so. We can't wait to get back to going out for breakfast again and going out for dinner. So
outside in the warm and having a place to go, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The sun was out on Sunday, I think it was. Excuse me. And Sunday, or I can't remember, Sunday or Monday. Anyway, and Jeff and I were over at Breezy Corners, and we thought, geez, it'd be so nice to be able to sit on the picnic table.
Great.
Because the sun was out, and really on that side of the building it was quite warm. But you're not allowed to do that, and we certainly don't want to get anybody into trouble. Now, with it loosening up a bit, we're skiers. And when you're skiing and you get a hot chocolate or you get lunch, you sit outside on the patio, right? So I'd be prepared to do that for a lunch right now.
Yep, ski places are opening, so that's good.
Oh, I was so excited to hear that. Yeah, that the ski places were open. Yeah.
Well, good stuff. Well, thank you for taking the time. We'll do it again in a few weeks.
Yes. Oh, thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate this. And yeah, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We'll do this again. And thank you so much, everyone. I really, really appreciate it. Take care.